And despite Putin's words about allegedly being ready to stop the attacks, nothing has changed.
A partial ceasefire between Ukraine and Russia isn't working in practice. That's according to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The two sides had agreed to stop attacking energy facilities in a deal brokered by the U.S. earlier this week. But speaking remotely to leaders of the European Union on Thursday, Zelensky described a Russian attack on energy infrastructure the previous night. Kyiv and Moscow have continued to trade aerial attacks as clarity around the partial ceasefire remains uncertain. Russian officials say Ukrainian drones attacked this strategic bomber base in Russia, while this video appears to show smoke rising in a central Ukrainian city following a Russian mass drone attack on Wednesday. Ukraine had previously agreed to a U.S. proposed 30-day full ceasefire during negotiations with senior U.S. officials in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. But Russian President Vladimir Putin rejected that idea in a phone call with President Trump earlier this week.
By now, there could have been over a week without killings, without strikes, without fire, if Putin were not the only one keeping this war going.
Zelensky briefed EU leaders during a two-day summit in Brussels. Each state, aside from Hungary, signed a joint statement backing Ukraine. Meanwhile, outside of London, senior military officers from across Europe meet to flesh out plans for a potential international peacekeeping force for Ukraine.
But it is vitally important that we do that work, because we know one thing for certain, which is a deal without anything behind it is something that Putin will breach. We know that because it's happened before, and I'm absolutely clear in my mind it will happen again.
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer says the coalition, led by Britain and France, is moving into an operational phase. But it's unclear how many countries are willing to send troops or whether there will be any ceasefire to protect. More diplomatic talks are set to happen in Saudi Arabia next week, with representatives from Ukraine, the U.S., and Russia all present. Though Zelensky says Ukrainian officials will not be in the same room as those from Russia. For City News, I'm Erica Natividad.